Unfortunately, Dr. and Engineer Suaad Shamsi cannot be with us this morning. She'll be joining us later on this afternoon. Good morning, Your Highnesses, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 10th edition of Emirati Women's Day. Today we are not only celebrating Emirati women here in the UAE, but we are celebrating Emirati women all around the world for their beautiful accomplishments and achievements. And today we're in our 10th year. It was founded in 2015 by Sheikha Fatima bin Mubarak, the mother of the nation. And we have an incredible lineup of panelists, as you can see, who are going to share their journeys with us so we can find out more about their journeys as well as what Emirati Women's Day means to them on a personal as well as professional level. Can we kindly give them a big round of applause? So, Rasha Al-Mubarak, we're going to start off with you. Rasha Khalifa Al-Mubarak is a UAE-based humanitarian rights lawyer and creative patron dedicated to supporting displaced youth, empowering women, and advancing the arts. She serves on the board of Lara and is a chairwoman of Music Nation and Music City, UAE. As the founder of 9 Production House, she champions cross-cultural storytelling and is the executive producer of the award-winning refugee documentary Seize the Summit. Can we once again give her a big round of applause? Rasha, my first question to you. You are a humanitarian lawyer. You support displaced youth here in the region. You sit on the board of Lara. You are the lady behind 9 Productions and the chairwoman of the Music Association here in the UAE. Tell us a little bit more about what inspired you to start this journey and how did it all begin?
Firstly, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. مبروك عليكم يوم المرأة الإماراتية. يشرفني أن أكون على المنصة مع إخوتي. الله يحييكم وشكرا على كل ما بذلتوه. فعلا جبتوا لنا الفخر. Due to the international nature of our audience, I will try to speak in both Arabic and English. The mother of the nation, Her Highness Sheikha Fatima bint Mubarak, Allah yahfadha, founded the General Women's Union in 1975. So in fact, it's 50 years today.
It is 50 years.
The theme this year is hand in hand. We celebrate 50 years. يداً بيداً نحتفي بالخمسين. Today's a reminder of our women's journey in building the nation. So, I do have some notes here that are very technical, but I think I'm going to put that aside for now and get personal.
Yes, please. We would love that.
And I was listening very carefully to the keynote speakers, and they echoed so much of what I believe in and inspired me even more. So thank you so much, ladies. So to answer your question, which is, again, please.
So basically, you are a humanitarian's right lawyer. You are supporting tremendously the displaced youth here in the region. You sit on the board of Lara, 9 Productions, as well as the music associations here in the region. So tell us a little bit more about this extremely interesting and diverse journey. How did it all begin?
I think it all began when I was a little girl in Abu Dhabi. I grew up, I had the privilege and honor to grow up in a home where I was allowed to be myself, allowed to have my voice, and allowed to think outside the box. Moreover, it was a home that where the word justice and rights was spoken on a daily basis. That was due to my grandfather's wisdom and experience. And from my father, the word duty and responsibility was something that was embedded in myself and my siblings. We felt that it was not only something that we would do when we felt like it or if the opportunity came, but actually doing something for our country was a duty and responsibility that is part of our daily lives and part of our language. Obviously, that's what led me to go in the path of rights and human rights. And in the beginning, my specialization or my area that I was concentrating on was women's rights. Coming back to the UAE, at that time, there were certain laws that needed to be looked at in order to pave the women's journey that is what we have today. Leadership was 100% on board. Leadership was 100% encouraging. And to be honest, those little laws here and there were adjusted very fast. So I found myself thinking, what now? This happened. The UAE was and is very progressive for women, and leadership was and is very encouraging for that. While I was in that role, I naturally started to look at women and see women perhaps in other areas of the world that were not as privileged as we are today. Our mothers, our grandmothers, our older sisters broke the ceiling for us. So today we're in a position where the light is there, the ceiling is broken. All we need to do is go. It's not the same in other parts of the world.
Absolutely.
And that also led me to the path of working with women refugees, which eventually led me to Inara, which is an organization that works with displaced families affected by war. And perhaps today is not the day or the platform to discuss this, but this is something that I'm extremely proud of. And again, there is the duty to help not only myself, my sisters in the UAE, but my sisters worldwide. Again, from my childhood, music was very much part of my everyday life. I'm sure it's the same for many of you, where Fayrouz in particular was played by our mothers, and that ignited the love not just of music, but of the words, the lyrics, the feelings, and how music can uplift us and how it can make change. Because one of the ladies talked about unity in the keynote speech. Music unites us. So right now, today, I find myself in a position where I am able to combine those backgrounds and those passions and looking at the rights of artists and creatives and make sure they get what they are owed. I hope I've answered your question.
You have. Do you work with artists only from the region, or is it on a global level?
No, I think the priority for me at the moment is our Emirati artists and our regional artists, but for sure, our entity is for all artists in the MENA region, North Africa, and the whole region, because an artist is an artist, just like a woman is a woman, whether you are Emirati or not.
Rasha Al-Mubarak, thank you very much for sharing your beautiful and inspirational story with us. Wonderful. Can we give her a round of applause, please? And now moving on to Marwa Al-Mamari. Marwa Al-Mamari is UAE's first aerospace engineer and on a mission to encourage young women in the region to take up STEM careers. STEM standing for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics. Currently a specialist in the Air Accidents Prevention Department at the General Authority of Civil Aviation and a PhD candidate working on AI in aviation. Can we kindly give her a big round of applause, please? So Marwa, what inspired you to get into the world of aerospace? What made you want to be an aerospace engineer?
أول شيء السلام عليكم. مشكورين. Thank you so much for having me today. أبى أهني المرأة الإماراتية والمرأة العربية والمرأة بشكل عام. اليوم يوم المرأة الإماراتية بس نحن فعليا نحتفل بالمرأة في العالم كله. كل عام وانتم بخير وإن شاء الله سنين طويلة وعديدة من الإنجازات بإذن الله تحت ظل هالقيادة الرشيدة. I'll continue my conversation again in English to address all the audience here today. It's an honor to be with you all and to share some of my journey, a journey that was supported by this great leadership, my country, United Arab Emirates. Your question was what inspired me. And I must say I come from a country that inspires us every day, every single day. Early on, my journey was to be actually a doctor. So I actually joined medicine, and I was learning to be one. However, by actually high school, I had a change of heart and mind, whether I should join medicine or different field, something challenging. I'm not trying to make less of medicine, of course. It's an amazing field and it's very noble. But I just wanted something to push me outside of my comfort zone. Medicine was my comfort zone. I challenged my family to join the field. I didn't know that it was a male-dominated industry. I didn't know I was the first female to join them and the first Emirati actually to join the aerospace engineering. It was challenging back then to step out of this stereotype of female joining certain fields approved by society. But I got the leadership support in this, and that what made my family to change their mind and allow me eventually to join aerospace engineering. So I ended up first in medicine, then civil engineering, until I made it to aerospace engineering. So what inspired me basically is it wasn't like a childhood dream. It was never a childhood dream. I was just a typical little girl who likes to play with Barbies, but I always question things. And I think this is a trait of an engineer. It was born with me. And when I was matured enough, I wanted to follow that feeling deep inside about exploring new fields and conquering new industry. And that was actually mainly the decision what made me proceed with aerospace engineering.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing that. We have another question for you, Marwa.
Yeah.
So you are on a mission to encourage the future generation, the female generation, to take up careers in STEM, which is basically science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Tell us a little bit more about that.
So I'll start a bit far when I first graduated and I came back to the country and figured out that I am the first aerospace engineer. I didn't know until then, actually. And what it made me feel is very proud of just chasing after what I dreamt of actually had a huge impact on nation-wise, right? So that was the drive where it started me off the journey of advocating for STEM, especially with the new technology and the advancement we have in every sector, made sort of people tend to go to the easy way. So I always speak to my students, to the people, to the audience out there. If you all end up and with such easiness in your life approach, so who will be our engineers? Who will be our scientists? Who will be our doctors today? So I make sure that my journey somehow is recruited to help those girls, not only Emirati girls or Emirati women, but internationally. So yes, I'm a TED Talk speaker. I'm a Forbes on Forbes platform, and I speak on Forbes as an advocate for a woman empowerment and STEM. And I work toward that too. So it's not just getting on stage and giving lectures about it. It's actually putting actions. I actually teach in New York University, Abu Dhabi. So I make sure I meet with the students. Every single chance I get, I try to advocate for science, for STEM, for women empowerment, because I know us as women, we have a lot of potentials. We can conquer nations, we can conquer industries. So I always encourage them to chase that dream. And I always bring up my experience as a mother. I did quit my career for 10 years, 10 good years. And because I knew my priority in life, I always put my kids first. So it's not wrong to learn your priority in life, whether it's family, career, it's okay. Just chase after what you think is right for you as a person. Don't let any society or any kind of stereotyping limit you. You can always chase a dream. You can achieve one dream. If you had a change of heart, it's all right. Go for another dream. And it's okay. You can always succeed as long as you believe in yourself and what you can do. And that's it. That's my message to all of the women today and listening to us.
Very inspirational. Thank you very much for sharing that.
Thank you.
And now moving on to Reem Al-Hassani. Reem Al-Hassani is the first Emirati woman to manufacture Olympic rowing boats. Olympic rowing champion herself and applied a neuroscience coach. She has introduced RNPD PRO, which is Reem Neuro Paddle Diagnostics Protocol, a groundbreaking Emirati innovation that combines rowing, neuroscience, and diagnostics. Can we give her a big round of applause, please?
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. شكراً للشيخة جواهر على الحضور المتميز ودائماً متميزة بحضورك. سعيدة بهذا اليوم اللي خصصته حقنا الشيخة فاطمة بنت مبارك أم الإمارات. اليوم نحتفل فيه ونحتذي بإنجازاتنا. اليوم أنا فخورة بكل مرأة متعددة المجالات، صاحبة إنجاز، سواء أم أو طالبة أو شو ما كانت. هذا يومها، وهذا يوم نحن نفتخر إن نتكلم فيه عن إنجازاتنا. طبعاً أعرفكم بنفسي، أنا ريم الحساني، أول إماراتية مصنعة للقوارب، لاعبة ومساعد مدرب سابقاً في نادي أبو ظبي للرياضات الشراعية واليخوت، مبتكرة التجديف الجبلي، ومبتكرة التشخيص العصبي المهني للصحة المهنية. طبعاً مبتكرة التجديف الجبلي لإبراز المعالم السياحية في دولة الإمارات، وصاحبة كتاب بعض الأوقات بداية جديدة، وعسبة ما أنسى أم لطفلين وموظفة في المجال العسكري.
Shukran Reem. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. Now moving back to Rasha. Rasha, what advice do you have for the future generation that want to get into leadership roles or roles in general, but are quite hesitant? What would you say to them? What advice do you have for them?
Well, firstly, what's very important to know is leadership is what you show, what you do. You've got to do it first. You've got to lead by example. So this would be my first piece of advice. My second piece of advice for the Emirati woman, when you lead and when you innovate, and when you challenge and when you make changes, always remember who you are. Always remember your origin, your culture, your heritage. The world is moving at a very, very fast pace at the moment. And you mentioned the skyscrapers and the buildings and the roads, which is wonderful, absolutely wonderful. But let's not forget our desert and our burqa and our henna and the stories that our grandmothers told us, because that shapes us. And so this is another piece of advice that I would give. The third piece of advice that I would give is, for women, is, and you mentioned it as well, and I loved when you said that, lifting each other. I'm a firm believer in that. When I win, you win. When you win, I win. We win. We win together. There's no room for competition.
Absolutely.
Healthy competition is good, but collaboration is key.
United, we're much stronger.
United women, collaboration, collaborate, learn. Learn from women who have broken those ceilings. And then give back to the women that are younger than you. Lift them up as well. And that, for me, is true empowerment.
I love that. Thank you so much, Rasha. Can we give her a round of applause, please? Now, moving on to Marwa. Marwa al-Mamari, what advice do you have for the younger generation, for women wanting to get into leadership roles or any roles and are quite hesitant? What would you say to them?
I'd always say focus in your journey. Eventually, the success will come after. It will follow. If you just focus in what you want to achieve, and it's like a natural result, right? The success eventually will happen once you're focused and determined, and always create a healthy habit of commitment, and that will get you to your goal and your achievements after all.
Thank you very much.
Thank
you,
you.
Marwa. Thank you. And now moving on to Reem Al-Hassani. ريم شو النصيحة يلي عندك للجيل الجديد يلي بدهم يدخلوا ب leadership roles or have a dream that they want to pursue بس مش عارفين يعني عندهم شكوك اجر لقدام اجر لورا شو النصيحة يلي عندك إياها لهم؟
نصيحتي أن يؤمنون أن المستحيل ممكن وأن يتمسكون بالقيم والهوية لأنها هي أساس النجاح وكل شخص لازم يعرف قيمة نفسه وقدراته هني هالشيء راح يوصله للإنجاز أو الأهداف اللي هو يباها فمثل ما قلنا آمنوا أن المستحيل ممكن وراح توصلون بإذن الله.
Beautiful. Thank you, Reem. And now our third question for today, Rasha. What motivates you every day to keep excelling and driving change in your field?
What motivates me on a personal level is the past and the future. By the past, I mean the women before me that have shown me the way. In particular, Her Highness Sheikha Fatima bint Mubarak, Allah yahfadha, and my grandmother Lulwa. Of course, my mother and my aunts and my sister, but those two individuals had a great impact on me in teaching me. The future or the present, I would say my daughters. If I'm speaking specifically about women, Emirati Women's Day, I would say my daughters. I want to show them what it means to be an Emirati woman, my daughters and my nieces. But I have to also say that I know it's Emirati Women's Day, and it wouldn't be possible without our leadership and our country and our mothers and grandmothers and sisters. But it also wouldn't be possible without Sheikh Zayed, Allah yarhamah, without our grandfathers, without our fathers, our husbands, and our sons. So these are part of our community. They're not women, but they're part of our community, and they are our partners.
Absolutely.
And what also motivates me, and I would love, I would be remiss if I didn't mention it, and I wouldn't be authentic if I didn't mention it, because today is Emirati Women's Day, and I am so incredibly proud to be an Emirati woman, and so incredibly humbled by the ladies on stage and the ladies who spoke, and every single woman in this audience. But the theme, our theme this year, is hand in hand. So hand in hand, together, so we create a better world in the United Arab Emirates. But I'd love to remind myself and all of us about the other women that are not in the same position that we are in today. So maybe we make a pledge today because we happen to be here. There happens to be so many wonderful women in here and men. Maybe we do something a little bit corny, but I am corny, so it's okay, where we hold somebody's hand Somebody's hand next to you, hand in hand, and make a pledge. Please, just hold one person, two people, three people's hands, whoever you'd like. And we pledge that we do our best to the United Arab Emirates, to the women, the girls, the grandmothers, the mothers, the daughters, the sisters, and remember sisterhood in general for all the women in the world. Thank you.
Hello. Sorry about that. Was checking the mic. Thank you so much for answering that. That was absolutely beautiful. Now moving on to Marwa. Marwa, what motivates you to keep excelling in your field, day in, day out? Microphone, mic check.
Yeah, it's on. It's on. The potentials this nation is offering every day. And of course, the past of our grandmothers, the mother who paved this way to us today, to be able actually to break barriers. What keeps me going, trying to always set an example for my kids. That's a huge motivation for me personally, and I'm sure for so many other women here. And the industry itself, it's very unique, and I'm sure every industry can offer the same. But the aviation industry offers every day a challenge, and I'm someone who's driven by challenges, so that keeps me going. And to somehow to give back to the country, because this country deserves a lot from us. The leadership, our ancestors, our future generations, they all deserve to see us thriving while we have all these opportunities. We are privileged today, unlike so many. So we need to seize that chance. And that's what keeps me going, and that's my biggest motivation.
Thank you very much for sharing that. Let's give her a big round of applause, please. And last but not least, Reem Al-Hassani. Reem, من وين بتاخدي قوتك لتقدري تنتجي وتعطي أكثر يوميا في مجال in the world of rowing boats and the world of rowing?
طبعاً أول شيء إيماني بالله، إيماني بقيادتنا الرشيدة، القوة اللي أستمدها من عائلتي، من عيالي، من نظرتهم، أشوف فيهم الدعم والأمل والاستمرارية والإصرار. الشيء اللي وصلني أنا الحين وخذيت اللقب أول إماراتية مصنعة للقوارب، هذا عبارة عن قصة تحدي ونجاح وكفاح. قصتها خلف الكواليس كانوا عيالي، هم السند. أنا بتعبي أرجع البيت أشوف في عيونهم الأمل، أشوف إني أنا لازم أكمل ما أوقف. هم الجنود المجهولة، الناس اللي ما تعرفها، اللي دايماً أنا معاهم بكل خطوة وبكل تفاصيل يومي كيف أبديها، هم معاي. فأنا أشوفهم هم السند وهم الصديق، هم العون، هم اللي وصلوني اليوم للمكان اللي أنا فيه. ألقي كلمتي قدامكم، أستودعهم والله، والله يحفظهم يا رب.
شكراً ريم. Thank you. Now our last question for the day, Rasha. What does Emirati Women's Day mean to you? How would you summarize it? I know we said a lot today, but how would you summarize it?
Hope. Hope. I think we've proved the success. Emirati women today are the pioneers, have been for a while. So we've already proved the ability and success. Now it's time to go further and to achieve more. But I would say hope. That would be my word.
Thank you very much for sharing that. Marwa, what does Emirati Women's Day mean to you on a personal, professional, on every level? Microphone, mic check, please. Mic check.
Pride and hope, of course. But it's always like a reminder that you're on the right track and you're doing well and you can still do well.
Beautiful. Thank you very much for that, Marwa. Can we give her a round of applause? And last but not least, Reem, شو بيعني لك يوم المرأة الإماراتية؟
يوم المرأة يوم نحتفل، يوم خاص، يوم خصصته الشيخة فاطمة بنت مبارك أم الإمارات لكل مرأة تحتذي بإنجازاتها. فهو يوم أنا أحتذي بإنجازاتي وفخورة بهذا اليوم وممتنة فيه. فأنا أقول شكراً يعني على هذا اليوم اللي خصص للمرأة.
شكراً ريم. Ladies, thank you so much for being with us. Can we please give them a huge round of applause?
Thank
and
you,
wishing
everyone.
you all a happy Emirati Women's Day. Thank you so much for your time and wishing you continued growth and success always.
Thank you. But just before you all go away, I just want to ask, Lara, I
Yes.
just want to ask you a question.
Sure.
What's your why? Like, you know, you're a luxury brand ambassador, you're a business developer, you're a philanthropist.
Yes.
What's your why when you wake up every morning? You know, everyone has a why, like, why am I doing this? So what's your why? What motivates you on it?
I would definitely have to say passion. I believe passion is the key to everything. If you're not passionate about what you do, you'll eventually get bored and give up. So passion is what keeps me going. I love what I do.
Passion mixed with consistency, persistence?
Passion, consistency, perseverance, determination, ambition, vision. It's a combination of all. Yeah.
I just wanted to ask you that
Thank
as well.
you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thanks.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Thank
big
you,
round of
ladies.
applause for everyone,
Thank you.
please.
Can we have a group photo with the beautiful panelists, photographers, please? Let's just put this down. I think we're gonna have to go this way. ريم ممكن تزيح لها الجهة بعد شوي شوي شوي.